A lot of people mistake abuse as love. This can be many, many types of abuse that all leads to the one root issue, and reasoning is why they feel or believe or they're being taught that abuse is love. We're talking here sexual kind of abuse. We're talking here verbal abuse. We're talking here emotional abuse, such as gaslighting, ghosting until the person caves in, gaslighting to make them question everything, to make them give in to the abuser, to believe that this is love, gifting in other ways, destroying reputation. This is not even just romantic, this is family. So the many kinds of manipulation, like oh, I'm going to destroy your reputation if you don't give in, or other ways of manipulating, gaslighting, as I mentioned. Many other factors, many other, tactics to, abuse someone, physically abuse them. Especially if a person feels alone, or they're not supported, or they're not strong enough, or that they may get attacked by other people if they speak up. It's very common in Armenia. And again, I make these videos because I'm here to defend people who are silenced on a regular basis or feel that they are being silenced. Okay? So I love my culture, I love my country, but I also love my people. And so I believe abuse is not love. And when a person believes that abuse, any of the abuses that I've mentioned before in any of these videos, when they are taught to believe and conditioned to believe that they have to give to the point where they're selling their soul, or selling their values, or selling their bodies, or selling their minds, and putting away their dreams and visions and desires in a sense of becoming a whole, happy person just to stay in a family dynamic or community dynamic that is in denial, that is getting off by abusing. I want you to understand, abuse is never love. There is nothing wrong with you, and there's everything wrong with the people who want to say that that's perfectly okay to abuse people, and that don't even want to identify it as abuse. It is wrong, and it's not your fault. There seems to be a crime in the Armenian families and communities where if a girl or even a boy or anyone comes out and speaks against abuses in their family or in their communities, they're going to be an outcast, they're going to be slandering, they're going to be shamed, they're going to, be discredited, treated like absolute shit, and there's no support system for them, and so they don't say anything, or they go through extremes to, their family comes back and tries to abuse them again and shut them up in other ways. For example, there were points in my life where I just couldn't take it anymore with my mom and my family. It was always about, I have to sacrifice myself, me, for my family, growing up as a child. And for everything, I have to sacrifice myself. And I was consistently made fun of. Okay, and this involves my cousins too on my mom's side, everyone. I was constantly made fun of if I questioned anything. I was constantly made fun of why I'm always alone. I was constantly made fun of how I can't learn mathematics on my own when I'm like 5 years old, 6 years old, and I need my parents' help or my family's help, which that's what kids do. They need their parents' help. And gaslighted to believe that I'm the one with the problem. I have a problem because my family's not there for me now. It's in my head. It's all in my head. Everything is in my head. This is gaslighting, guys. And these are tactics. A lot of people in organizations, communities, and families and relationships, they do these things. So you have to be able to identify that this is going on, and you want to be able to just kind of develop your self-esteem and your own values so that you don't allow people to step on you and change your... I remember there was a point where, years ago, my mom, a long time ago, decades ago, my mom would constantly cuss at my dad's family. So I was like, you know what, that's my aunt and my uncle, my cousins on my mom's side. So like I want to, go see them. So I just went and I stayed with my aunt for like a month, my dad's sister, and obviously after he passed away. And I mean, we got along, everything was great. And when people found out that I'm there and what happened and how her boyfriend sexually tried to assault me and how my whole family blamed me, that I'm the problem because they only kept him because he paid her tens of thousands of dollars and she needed the money, my family needed the money, so it's easier to make me look like the crazy one. So one of my mom's cousins got in the way. She picked me up from my aunt's house and she said, come over to my place. We had dinner there, and she's like, we gotta have a communication with your entire family. The entire family sat down. They're screaming at the top of their lungs at my mom's cousin. Oh, we're always working. She has a problem. Tell her there's a problem. Tell her there's a problem. Tell her there's a problem. So tell her it's lying about everything. Tell her there's a problem. So it's like the abusee, like the person who's abusing, makes it clear on many occasions that they're abusing. Okay? So the only time I can ever recall my mother ever caring for me or my well-being is when literally her ass was on the line, or when people kind of like caught her at something. So it's not because she wanted to do better, because she cared. She wanted to do better to clean her reputation, and she always does that since I was young. Anyone who speaks against her, or let me rephrase that, anyone who speaks their truth, which puts her reputation as not being a good enough mom or doing something against what society or Armenians will find out about, it was always like, tell her it's a liar, tell her it doesn't work, tell her it doesn't cook, tell her it doesn't clean. She'll find faults and she's making shit up, and then people will see down the road, your daughter is always cleaning, she's always cooking, she's always doing this, she's always doing that. Oh, that's where she learned it from me. So what I'm trying to say is, the gaslighting never stops. And I remember I had a counselor at one point because I couldn't take it anymore. And she's like, eventually your family will learn to accept you. I'm like, oh no, honey. With majority of Armenian families, especially my family, there's no such thing as freedom of expression. You're not allowed to do it. The head of the family will always be my mom. Okay? Nobody else has a mind. She will gaslight you. She will abuse and control you behind closed doors. And in front of everyone, everybody knows I'm such a good mother. So this actually happens a lot in Armenian families. This happens a lot in the villages of Armenia. So that's why a lot of these girls, they go from being stuck into being a prostitute, or they just don't want to get married and they turn into lesbians, or they flee and they want to leave the country. It goes from one extreme to another. And all I wanted as a little girl, all I wanted was my mother, all I wanted was my family, but they will never accept me for who. You would be surprised to know how many Armenian mothers could care fucking less about their daughters, could care less about their own fucking... Do you understand? When they say they care, they're not actually caring for them, they're caring for their own self, their own wounds, their own abuses. So this is not, should never be considered part of the Armenian culture, to never want to speak up or ruin our own reputation. Oh, we've got wars going on. We always have wars going on because Armenians are constantly in a state of denial, and they love to sell each other out for money and sometimes for free. Okay, the enemy, which you so-called Turks and Azeris, our enemy, they can't fucking get in unless we as a collective, individuals and community of Armenians, don't give our secrets out. And that's what individual families even fucking do.